The Americans gave us Universal Studios. The Europeans, well, they gave us BAFTA, dance, culture and the arts. Today, we asked Encik Norman Abdul Halim what KRU Studios can give the world. I'm Ben Ibrahim and let's go learn how the entertainment business can make you some money as this is Entrepreneur.
Ooh la la.
Hello everybody and welcome to Entrepreneur. Today we have an Entrepreneur special. We're talking to Encik Norman Abdul Halim, Group Executive President of KRU Studios. So what's the relationship between entertainment and entrepreneurship? Well, we'll ask Norman right now. Norman, when you first started your career, did you see yourself as a musician first or an entrepreneur first?
I would say musician.
Musician, yeah.
But I always had the flair in accounting because I have an accounting background, and I always enjoyed playing Monopoly in my younger days. So I guess it comes in naturally, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
I could tell that during the teenage days he took up accountancy, so I could figure out that he's more into business. But I couldn't really tell when we were much younger, during the childhood days, that any recollection of anything to do with business, like whatever he wants to do. But I guess it's during the developing years when we were in London, we could actually sense that he's got this potential more of a leader in anything that we were doing together, me, Yusri and Norman.
What motivated you to go the extra distance in music?
Well, first of all, I think it starts off with passion. I don't think we can actually fabricate or create something that is not there. And passion for music and the sincerity in terms of doing the creative interpretation of music, whether it's music or visual performance or anything like that. The market would actually, or the consumers themselves, they see that as some form of originality, and they would actually be closer to you that way.
That's a really good point that Norman just brought up. Understand what the market wants, and we've spoken about that a lot on Entrepreneur. But speaking about the business, the entertainment business, many of our viewers are jumping out of their seats now. They want to know this particular question. How can this business make you some very, very handsome profits? Because many people out there think that if you're in the entertainment business, you are a billionaire, but that's sometimes far from the truth.
Exactly. I mean, there are only a handful of success stories, unless you're in a big market like in America, whereby they have lots of people to actually consume your product. But in Malaysia, we are quite. This is very challenging to build a successful entertainment company in Malaysia, because there's different group of people have different kind of preference to content, and what works for you may not work with your
other people.
Whether it's your fiance or girlfriend or wife, one person can totally like it and the other person can totally hate it. So this is what the entertainment business is all about. And the thing is, you got to entertain people, and they have certain preferences, they have certain aspirations and expectations when they actually want to be entertained.
Right. So can you paint us a business model, how this business can make you some profits?
Well, it starts off, basically there's various segments in the industry, where the support group of people and the creative people, technical, distribution, financing and all kinds of stuff. And a creator, and someone with an idea, can actually start a business that way, start from very small. That's how we first started. We signed with EMI for 2,000 ringgit advance that we got, and with that 2,000 ringgit, that was our capital.
Neither one of us were actually interested in becoming celebrities. We produced demos for the love of it. We enjoyed singing, and we've always dreamt of having a professional recording studio, because we're our idols were like big name producers at that point of time, which were three guys called Stock Aitken and Waterman. They produced Rick Astley, Kylie Minogue, and you know, the likes of the 80s pop icons. And we somehow wanted to be like them. So very formatted music, you know, very 3-minute radio tunes. So we grew up listening to that and wanting to be like Stock Aitken and Waterman.
What is your biggest challenge in this business?
The biggest challenge is actually, first of all, one is piracy, and secondly is actually the problem in terms of raising the bar, especially in terms of the kind of content that we would like to produce. So I would say that at the end of the day, what is lacking in the creative sector is that the exposure to understand that the whole expectation of the market. Sometimes, you know, we get scripts from people that they just have no basic understanding about the industry. They write like 120, 150 pages long, no act 1, 2 and 3 formula whereby you have to build up in character and stuff like that. That sometimes people just give you lyrics whereby there's no structure. They don't understand what is actually required to make it commercial. I can share with you one particular secret.
Do, yes.
A feature film, you know, in order for you to maximize your box office, you cut your show and make sure that your show is actually within the formula of 90 minutes. Because if you do anything beyond 90 minutes, you have reduced time of screening. So there's a basic calculation of actually, if you have 7 times screening compared to 6, that means you're missing out 300 seats on that particular day. And if that's multiplied by 70 locations, imagine that you're losing out. Every 300 seats is actually 3,000 ringgit. You multiply it by 70 locations, you get the damage.
With these challenges, what tools have you implemented or do you use to combat these challenges?
Well, firstly, technology helps in terms of, you know, acquiring. We've always been a pioneer in doing digital production. Well, in the 90s, we were the pioneers in terms of recording music digitally. So the technology aspects help us to understand and recreate things that are not really. For example, if it's expensive to build ships, like for Marung Mahawang said, one ship will cost you 100,000 ringgit. So for example, what we do is that, you know, we actually just create a few ships so that it has got any physical contact to the talents, but when it comes to anything in the background, we actually recreate it in visual effects, in CGI format. So at the end of the day, it saves money in terms of production. It saves the dependence on the set builders to build all kinds of sets or expensive sets, and for us to enable us to actually tell a story which is larger than life.
Business tip number 1: keep your film to about 90 minutes. You see, the relationship between entertainment and business, there is a formula to use, and Norman, being the good old trained accountant, he uses that particular formula. So the formula is keep it short, 90 minutes, make sure your distribution patterns are right, and most importantly, get the genre right. If the movie is scary, keep it scary for the first 10 minutes. But there's nothing scary about this interview. We're just going to take a very short commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to learn more about the entertainment business. We'll see you soon. Hello everybody and welcome back to Entrepreneur. You're with me, Ben Ibrahim, and this is the part of the interview where we start taking more notes because our guest, Norman Abdul Halim, will start sharing with us how he runs an effective business. So question number 1, Norman, how much capital does one need to get going in the entertainment business? Every industry is different.
Yes.
You said earlier you were very lucky to get 2,000 ringgit, even though the amount was very small at that time. You still got some money to get going. So if you could do it all again, how much do you need?
The beauty about this business is about ideas, because it is actually labeled as one of the industry under the guarded by the Copyright Act, which is intellectual property.
Of course, IP.
Basically, it starts with IP and ideas. So you can start with almost next to nothing, because just having a good idea. But of course, you know, to monetize that idea, of course, you have the bigger resources that you have. It's easier for you to greenlight a particular idea to go into production. So I would say that it can start as small as, like, you know, with zero capital, with just a good idea, but knowing some good people.
So relationships.
Leadership is very, very important. You know, you got to know somebody in the industry to monetize that.
Okay.
Or ideally, if you want to look to produce a local feature film, you know, it can go as high as 1.5 million ringgit. If you are looking at producing a single, a song, you know, you can probably work around a budget of 5,000 to 6,000 ringgit. Doing a TV show, you know, the pilot will cost you probably about 30,000, 40,000 ringgit.
Right.
So I guess it all depends on what exactly that you want to do.
You mentioned earlier that the entertainment business is very different, very diversified.
Yes.
In terms of KRU Studios, what kind of equipment did you need to purchase to keep the machine running?
Of course, there's different components of the production that you need, especially in post-production, because we realize in order to make a good quality product, whether it's music, film or TV shows, we need to have access or control over the post-production. Because whatever you shoot, you can still save it in post-production. You try to do as best as possible in production, but sometimes things go wrong because we can't control. It's just like arranging a wedding ceremony every day. Just imagine you're shooting for 30 days, every day is a wedding day.
Oh my
so
God.
anything can go wrong, right?
Imagine that, yeah.
Yeah, so post-production is very important. So there's three aspects of post-production. One is the audio aspects. The second is the visual editing, which is the editing suites. And the other part, whereby I think we have our competitive edge over our competitors, is because that we have very good pool of talents on visual effects. So that is the other part, whereby, you know, we can tell, you know, larger than life stories, or even, you know, do great music videos, or even other content. So I would say that these three components are quite important. You can start with, like Chichat Man. When we first did the movie Chichat Man, it started off with just a single person doing the visual effects, and that person was Yusri. So we started off with just one equipment, you know, and the software and the hardware to actually produce it. But I think that's what's important about this business. Like I said earlier, is about the idea and the creativity. And if you got the talent and you are sincere about your artistic work, you know, it will come out naturally.
Now, many entrepreneurs on our show have always said many Malaysian entrepreneurs come up with a cracking business plan, but it fails because of execution.
Yes.
So tell us about the execution part in this business.
Well, you need to have people who have the energy and focus on and the talent to actually manage the operations as well. I mean, I don't see myself as doing that.
Right.
Personally, I did that for a while, and I couldn't handle so many things at the same time.
Of course, yeah.
And I'm more of a business development person, you know, on marketing, business development, pitching, and ensuring that, you know, we actually build up a bit of the value proposition of our products and even our company and our brand. But the thing is, you know, we have good operations heads, whereby, you know, they look into the details from agreements, letters, and make sure everything's there in writing. And we're going even into the next level, whereby we're going into designing programs and softwares so that it'll be somehow rather intelligent, smart virtual office, whereby it can be anywhere in the world and reports come in natural via automation.
Right.
So I guess that you know, you need to actually have control over your people, because right now we have staff strength of 85 people, and the company is going to continue to grow. Eventually, by 2015, we anticipate we're going to have roughly about 300 people, and they'll be all over the world as well. So the thing is, how do we control that? You know, the best way is to use technology, how to actually minimize your costs and to create better efficiency.
Nomon work